Hello, good evening, all of you. Thank you very much for joining in. We are still expecting a few more members to join in. Um, but in the meanwhile, we will have a little discussion. First of all, we would want this to be an interactive session. So we will begin with a brief description of the 6 digits program, and then we will move on to your questions. We will see what has ACCA envisaged through this program to deliver to its members. What are the aims and objectives that ACCA has set for itself, and to give you an idea of how interactive and, in other words, hectic this program is going to be. So first of all, let me congratulate all of you. There are 35 members from across Lahore who have been selected for this program. To tell you the truth, we received a total of 200 applications from across Pakistan. Some of the members who were based in other cities outside of Lahore had also applied, but just because this is the pilot phase of the program, we had decided to keep the program limited to our members in Lahore. And that is because the head office is in Lahore, Sajid sits here, I sit here, and we want to run this program under a close supervision for the first time, after which, once we have fully concluded the program, we have looked at the results. During the course of the program, we will make certain amendments to the program, and therefore, once we go on from there, we will then be able to replicate this program successfully in some other markets, in some other cities. So, beginning with that, we were expecting that there would be around that many members who we feel are not earning at their right potential. This discussion within ACCA started when we conducted our salary survey. That was last year, early last year. So in that survey, we figured out that there's a very strange variation in the data. So there are certain members who have progressed very, very rapidly, and they were earning almost at par or above par, and we define par as the normal salary ranges that we have in mind for our members. And there are certain other members who, despite having a lot of experience, despite having worked in the industry for more than a decade, have not been able to progress very well. So we then went into the details of it. Where have these people worked? What are the characteristics of members who have progressed very well? What are some of the limitations of the members who have not progressed well? So we went into details about why is this disparity there. Needless to mention that there were around 10% members, and 10% members would mean around 500 members in Pakistan who are at the moment in the C-suite. And if I roughly park their salaries, they earn between 700,000 rupees to over 1 million rupees a month. And at the same time, there is a big majority, I would say about 40%, who are earning below par. When I say par, I would want to define these figures as well. When ACCA looks at the capability set or the competencies that ACCA has delivered through the qualification, looking at the Pakistan market, we we presume that members should be able to, in the first year of their becoming a member, should be earning around 75,000 rupees to 100,000 rupees as their starting salary. Some a little lower, some would be a little higher, but our expectation is that members, if they are earning at their right potential, in the first year of their qualification, should be earning around this much. Then, very openly speaking, if in the first 2 years they do not cross the 6-digit mark, which means 1 lakh rupees a month, then that means their trajectory is, their growth trajectory is slowed down, which means they're either not keeping themselves up to date or they're not using their full potential, that they've gained through the ACCA qualification. They're not using that advantage to their full potential. By 5 years of post-qualification experience, which means becoming a fellow ACCA member, we expect members to be earning more than 250,000 rupees, around 300,000 rupees. So these are roughly the benchmarks that looking at doing a detailed salary survey using the HR competencies and reward structures that exist globally. Some assessments that ACCA has done for the local market to determine what the what the HR reward structure is like for the competencies that members have got. Based on that, these are the figures that we have arrived with. So, roughly speaking, this was at the back of our minds. And then when we realized that there may be some members early on that if we can incubate, put them through a program and try to monitor their progress very carefully, we will be able to help and support our members in improving their earning potential. So that was the thought behind this program. And then our members network panel, our subcommittees, there are 45 members who are currently actively working through the subcommittees and the members network panel and the employability society particularly. We sat down and agreed that we need to have such a program in place through which we impart, we make people realize how to be on the right track to gain the maximum acceleration in their earning potential early on in their careers. So that was a bit of a prologue. So I thought at least I'll be able to share our, the thought process of what was in our minds when we were looking at this program, 6 digits. Then Sajid and I, we sat down and based on the information we had, we came up with the contents of the program, 6 digits. And I hope all of you have had a very close look at what these contents are like, and I'm sure you'll be intrigued and interested because these are some very, very interesting and very rewarding components that we've agreed that we are going to emphasize on through this program. Now, if I'm able to share with you slightly around what was the main reason why certain members were able to do very well and certain other members were not able to do so well. The main component, I mean, look, all of you have sat through similar exams. I mean, 218,000 members across the world have passed exactly the same exams. If they've passed the exams, that there is an indication that at least the teaching methodology used will be up to the mark also, and therefore the members were able to pass the exam. So the exam structure is pretty much standardized, homogenized, and therefore was able to deliver certain skills. Then when it comes to the practical experience requirement, of course, there's a huge difference between the kind of training environment, and please remember, by the way, when we say training, that's the 3 years practical experience requirement. There is a very clear, stark difference between the way competencies and the objectives in the practical experience requirement are monitored, and their progress against certain benchmarks is monitored in Pakistan when compared with other parts of the world. And of course, within Pakistan also, from organization to organization, from mentor to mentor, these standards vary. Now, I don't want to give any indications on any wrong thoughts, but then the point is that ACCA's practical experience requirement and ACCA's competency framework is a very well thought out component of the qualification, particularly the PER, and then the competency framework is as a basis for the skills that ACCA delivers through the practical experience requirement. They're very well thought out, and if they are exercised religiously and they're exercised way, particularly in the spirit in which the competency framework has been delivered, of course, the quality that is produced, the quality of the member that is produced is up to the mark, is exactly what the international standard is like. However, if I'm not sure if you'll agree or not, but if you disagree and you want to spell it out or you want to comment about it, there is a raise your hand button on your screens. You can raise the hand, I can unmute you, and you can share your comments. The way it happens in most of the organizations in Pakistan is that trainees are deployed on a particular task. They continue based on the business need, particularly based on the business need. So they are given a task, and day in, day out, for a very long consecutive period, they continue to do those things, without much intervention from the supervisor. In certain cases, I would not want to name the sectors in which the way that I'm talking about. In certain cases, for the entire 3-year period, the responsibility, the role that these trainees are performing in different organizations, it does not vary much. And therefore, the competencies that ACCA has suggested should be developed over this 3-year, very, very important 3-year period, those are not fully nurtured or grown. And as a result, what happens is that having completed the 36 months period, the workplace mentors, the supervisors would sign off the documents, and therefore the individual is ready to become a member. Yes, these individuals have completed the 36 months period. They have somewhat they have an understanding of the work that they've done in the 36 months period, but then the competencies that ACCA was trying to deliver or develop within its members, those are slightly missed out. I would not say slightly, well, those are missed out, which is why the difference that we see from member to member in the market that comes about. So what we've decided is that we're going to revisit those competencies. We're going to see what exactly those competencies are all about, and now at a later stage in the career, when they become members, we're going to enrich the content further and try to deliver those competencies in multiple ways. And that is what this program 6 digits is all about. So deliver those competencies in a much more effective way, in a very practical way, and through various interactions, and as a result, be able to put members on a track through which the growth and their growth in their salary could be as per our expectations. So before going on, I have to share the ethics and professional skills module with you, what we're going to cover in that ethics and skills, professional skills module. Then we're going to look at the competency framework also, and I have a little presentation to share with you of what this competency framework is all about and how we're going to use it. Right? So a small presentation on that. But before that, if you have any questions or comments, or you want to share your thoughts with us, I would want you to do that. You can either raise your hand and I will unmute your mic, and afterwards you will be able to speak, or otherwise you can type your questions in the questions box and I will be able to read your questions. So if you have any comments or questions, please type now and then we will go on further. Okay, I hope all of you were able to listen to me, understand what I was trying to say, and if you have any observations or comments that you want to share with the participants, we have 16 participants who've joined the orientation. So anybody who would like to make a comment or who would like to share his or her experience with us, this is the time. If no, just type no in the questions box so that at least I can understand that you are pretty clear about what I've said. Okay, thank you, Usman. I can see your comment. Hassan, thank you very much, Hassan. Okay. Are all other members attentively listening as well? No questions? Okay. Thank you, Zunair. Yes, I'm going to proceed. There is one hand raised. Let's see who that person is. Ehsanullah Babar. Ehsanullah Babar, if you would like to make a comment, I can unmute your mic and you can share with us your perspective. All right, you are unmuted and you can talk now. Ehsanullah Babar.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, Ehsanullah, we can hear you.
Okay, fine. Many thanks. First of all, I would like to say Assalamu alaikum to all participants. And most importantly, I would like to encourage the ACCA Pakistan for taking such initiatives for the best interest of the members. Actually, I do not have any particular question. I just want to say thanks to ACCA that they are still caring about us. Even we are now members, we have no direct interaction with the ACCA. So I think that you people, especially you and Sajid Saab, deserves to be appreciated on taking these initiatives. And this was what I feel was the dire need of the moment for some members who are just stuck in the middle of their career. We feel that we have acquired what was actually taught to us, that you should have these particular prerequisites or qualities to go beyond the 6-digit package. We have qualified all 14 exam papers. We have completed our PER. Even most of them are graduates, but still they are unable to cross the barrier of 6-digit. So we were trying to find a platform where we could discuss our concerns, but there was no appropriate forum to answer these questions. So when I found this email, I was literally feeling blessed to have this kind of conversation. So I'm really looking forward to find a lot of things, not only for me, for all of the ACCAs. And I think in our individual capacity, we should also trying to help others, even those who could not become part of this session. So we should also try to share our learnings with themselves for the cumulative best interest of the ACCA members. So many thanks Harun Sahab, many thanks Sajid Sahab, many thanks ACCA Pakistan for organizing such kind of event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ehsan Baba. Very nice of you. Sajid unfortunately had to be at a conference, a symposium. So although he has passed on his best wishes to all of you, and he wanted to be with you today, but maybe when we do our first a comprehensive interactive session, that is when he'll join us. Um, yes, Ehsanullah, I would agree with you to the extent that ACCA is very concerned, very focused on what services should be delivered to our members. But at the same time, let me share with you that, interaction with ACCA is at the maximum, at the membership stage. That's because when you become a student, your interaction normally is with the tuition provider, with the trainers, at the most with the customer services department at ACCA for your transactional needs, for your exam fee payments, for your other reasons. But or maybe through programs such as Gear Up, where some co-curricular activities are organized for students. At the affiliate stage, once again, the interaction with ACCA is minimal, and that's because people go off on their trainings, they're working at employers, their regular interaction should ideally be with the workplace mentors or the professional experience supervisors. So their focus mainly remains on their training, and for very for very specific transactional needs, they would interact with our customer services team. But at the membership stage, we have computed at least around 11 different engagement points through which members would directly get in touch with ACCA. So if I can start with the ACCA Pakistan Members Network panel, that's a way of interaction. The MNP members are doing a phenomenal job. The subcommittees are doing an excellent job. Number two, the CPD events. And I think so far since the 1st of April, and that's the reason why we started the 1st of April, is because ACCA's calendar of activities starts on the 1st of April and ends on 31st of March. Since 1st of April, we have delivered around 30, in fact, more than 30 different sessions. And currently, we have around 6 sessions on Finance Act to be delivered face-to-face across Pakistan. So a lot of activity is inducted, induced, and through that, what we're trying to do is equip our members with those skills which are continuously in demand, by the employers. So, and then there are subcommittees, and then there are weekly meetings, the weekly meetups, and then there are activities or webinars by the ACCA head office. Of course, customer services team is there, a dedicated resource help desk for members with transactional needs. That is there. So all these activities, they're sort of conceived with the objective in mind that we have to continuously make sure that our members are fully updated, they're kept engaged, they see the benefits of this membership, and they see returns as a result of remaining active part of the membership. However, this program is a testament to the fact that we would continue to offer, we are committed to offering advantages to members throughout their professional careers, so that our members are I mean they benefit from the qualification, they benefit from remaining a member of the qualification, and they continue to grow professionally. Now, let us very quickly, first of all, look at the contents of the program. I hope that you would have had a good look at the components, but let's go through this very, very quickly. Okay, so first of all, I think the most important element of when you have to start off on a journey for improvement is doing your self-assessment. So the first thing that we thought that needs to be done is for for members to be real to make members realize that they do have a lot of strengths in them, and there are certain weaknesses which can be very easily built up or covered up. So as a result of that, they would probably be more energized or be more dedicated and committed to achieving this objective. This is not going to be an easy task, and when we were doing our initial consultation, we realized that the work pressure generated through this period of activity, the 100 hours that we have to deliver, is going to be such immense that some members may want to back out, and we would not want that to happen. But in any case, a lot of rigor has been built into the program. So first objective is going to be self-assessment, and through various tools we will help you assess your strengths and your limitations and try to overcome them later on. Then a very important concept on question formation, right? If you have an inquisitive mind, if you know the art of asking questions, that is what we are indicating here. That is what we're going to teach you here, that how important and pertinent question formation is. Then we'll talk about some global trends, again, in the accountancy as well as outside the accountancy profession. Where is the world progressing? And moving on from there to focus building, yeah, and goal setting. And that's very, very important. A lot of times, when we lose sight of our goals, that is the time when we move away from our destination also. So as long as you have your goals determined clearly, in front of you, and you have also computed what do you need to do now, today, in order to reach or meet your goal or attain your goal in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years. If that is the level of clarity, then automatically you continue to progress in that direction. But a really scary situation can be that you don't have a goal in mind, or your goal is as let me say, as vague as, fine, I want to reach at a certain income level and all, but you haven't determined how to get there, or you haven't started working towards that. That is a very scary situation, and that is when people lose their their focus, and they lose sight of their goal. Then moving on, we will work on a business case, the phase 1 of the business case development, and we will talk more about what this business case is going to be all about. It has been built in because we would want this entire program to be very practical oriented, right? And not just theory, and not just things that are found in books, or not just very academic content. It is going to be practical, hands-on content. So we decided that we're going to pick up and prepare case studies and discuss those. These case studies can come from your side, through your experience, or what have you experienced in different organizations, in different capacities and roles. And it would come from our experts also. Our MNP members would share some business case studies with the participants, and then we're going to dissect them and discuss them in detail. Moving on, some critical competencies that we feel are essential for all the members, and without which we feel that no matter how much our members focused or how much they're goal oriented, they will probably not be able to attain their goals. These are those skills. So laws and regulations in Pakistan. Remember, if you're going to work in Pakistan, you need to know Pakistan's law, taxation, and other regulations. If you're not fully aware of that, then you are automatically at an advantage. And I was meeting members, even today, some members came in and said that, do you think there are preferences in the marketplace for competitive qualifications? ACCA is at a disadvantage. I said, do you think you have confidence in your exams that you've passed? Do you think they were the best exams that could be offered around the world? Do you think there was some deficiency in the content? He said, no, not at all. There was the best content. That was the best content available. The books were the best. The level of exams was the best. And I said, then your practical experience, do you think that, no, I've worked for one of the best organizations in Pakistan, so I don't see a deficiency in my practical experience requirement or my skills. So I said, why do you think that there could be if you're able to prove to an employer that you have the requisite skills to get the job done, or get business the benefit that they're looking for, then why would somebody look elsewhere? If you're able to demonstrate that, prove it to the interviewer, then automatically there is no reason why people will look away and not hire you. So that is what we need to realize. These are certain skills that we feel are essential, right? So laws and regulations, which would include taxation, which would include the Companies Act, and we look at other regulations also. Business valuation, right? A very important phenomenon, particularly from the perspective of startups, and then funding startups. So a lot of thought behind this program is also entrepreneurial. So where to get funding from if you're thinking entrepreneurial. Then some IT skills, and we'll try to take you people to the most advanced stage of these skills. So it's not just going to be plain simple Word, Excel, PowerPoint. We're going to take you through to the most advanced and most practical. So for example, it's not just going to be formula writing in Microsoft Excel. It's probably going to be financial modeling. It's probably going to be big data analysis. So that level of competency. ACCA is professional insights, and all along we are going to continuously keep referring to ACCA's professional insight. And one of the key elements that when Sajid and I were sitting down and discussing what do our members need to know more to improve their earning potential, remember there are so many professional insight reports that ACCA has produced, and the first beneficiary of these reports should be none other than an ACCA member, right? So we make you read professional insights day in, day out, talk about them, bring back insights, or bring back your views around certain professional insights. That's going to be. And last but not least, most important, and we're going to talk about this one, a few minutes after this, and that is the competency framework of ACCA. So please appreciate the fact that these are the skills and competencies that if members possess and they know how to effectively put them to good use, that is what probably makes members realize their maximum earning potential. Then we are going to invite in some industry leaders also. So for industry focused competence that we want delivered. So of course, they're going to be ACCA members, senior ACCA members are going to come in and talk to you. Senior ACCA corporate contacts going to come in and talk to you. So that is going to be very beneficial. Then the next one is again a very interesting one, ethics and professional skills modules, right? I'm not sure how many of you have already done it, but if you have, can you type yes to demonstrate what, I mean, whether you've done it or not, just type yes. If you've not done it, just type no. So ethics and professional skills module of ACCA, the latest ethics and professional skills module. Yes or no? Arsalan, thank you. Okay, no, not the latest. Usman says yes. Ehsan Baba says yes. And Ehsan and Usman, you're saying that you have done the latest release of it, right? The one with machine learning content also. Hassan, thank you. You've done it. Umar Ali, okay. All right, so that's an indication that some members have attempted it, others have not. And when I'm referring to the ethics and professional skills module, we normally call it EPSM also. So when you're talking about EPSM, I'm talking about the latest release of it, in which there is some machine learning content, and we look at the content that they're going to talk about. We have a way, I have a document open in front of me through which I'll demonstrate what is going to be taught in this. Okay, then moving on, there's going to be role plays for interview skills, for job interviews, so for CV writing. There could be role plays for communication negotiation skills. This is a skill, this is a component through which we will deliver soft skills, the necessary soft skills. And very clearly, the three most prominent soft skills you can notice in there are communication negotiation as one, decision making as two, and I would say board presentation as three. So if you're able to really summarize the concept to the highest possible level, make it hard-hitting and punchy, that is what we are looking at the moment. Then the second phase of business case development that will come in. Okay, so you've done the business case development first. This is the second stage. And then in the end, there's going to be certificate distribution. There's going to be networking all along. Okay, and code of conduct also for this session. So what happens if you miss a session? So what happens if you're not prepared for for the content to be discussed in the session? ACCA is going to be discussed, etc., etc. So it's going to be dressing and everything is going to be a part of it, and that will come in the end as code of ethics. Now let me very quickly share with you the ethics and professional skills module. First of all, those who have not done it or those who want to know what's in there, I will very quickly take you through this PDF document, which is the syllabus of our new ethics and professional skills module. It has 9 units, and one by one we'll look at these units. We'll just spend about 5 minutes on this. So the first one, the first unit is ethics and professionalism. So we're going to talk about the broad ethical and professional values. What are the principles and rules of ethics and professionalism? So what is rule-based? What is the rule-based world like, and what is the principles-based world like? The world is now moving from more rules-based to more principles-based ethical disposition. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at, and if you look at section 3, this is exactly what I was talking about, differences between rules and principles, thinking about ethical decisions. Right? There are case studies in this particular unit as well, and some personal ethics diagnostics. So to assess what kind of decisions would you take based on your criteria of ethics and professionalism in a certain situation. Okay, but look at the last element, applying what you have learned. So this is once again a very practical It's not theoretical. It's not just go through a module and we're done. It's application as well. Okay. Then the next part is personal effectiveness. This is the second unit. Okay. And personal effectiveness would include very important things like using technology effectively, using spreadsheets. It's in there as well. Big data analysis, maintaining professional competence and lifelong learning. So, when you talk about professional development, with things like, how to craft your CV, etc., they're all in there. Organizing meetings effectively. I mean, this is really practical. I mean, imagine you're in the workplace and you have that skill of making the most out of a business meeting, whether that be an internal meeting, whether that be a strategy, a strategy session within the organization, or whether this be a client, a meeting with the client or a meeting with the supplier. What to, how to, sort of gain the maximum out of, out of your interaction. And then the third unit is around innovation and skepticism, right? So what is innovation? How to be innovative? How to think innovatively? What is the importance of skepticism in the attitude? Is it positive? Is it negative? How to build that attitude in your day-to-day dealing, skepticism. Then the fourth unit is commercial awareness. And I can tell you one thing, ACCA had indicated this around 10 years ago, that accountants will have to be, the business will have to turn themselves into or transform themselves into business partners. Now, the term business partner had started was being used by HR professionals as well as finance professionals, equally. But then the way accounting qualification, or ACCA stresses it, is that any accounting and finance individual need to have a complete understanding of the entire business model of the organization that the person is working in. And that would also include the commercial realities within which a business survives, right, in a particular environment, in a particular economy, right? So unless a qualified accountant, a professional accountant, or an ACCA has those skills at play, I think in the absence of these skills will definitely lead to wrong decision making, will definitely lead to a person who is not fully involved in the business decision making process, or probably taking a back seat, which is what I must tell you was the main difference between those members who had very quickly climbed up the ladder and those who were not able to. Right? So this is that one important factor that cannot be missed out at any cost. So the commercial awareness, please be mindful of this. The next unit is leadership and team working, which I think is self-explanatory. We'll try to bring in some very interesting team building exercises. So be prepared. Then communication and interpersonal skills, again, very important. Can't say more about this, but networking, for example, and I can give you an example here. Are we all aware of how to network within groups? I've been with ACC about 14 years. Excuse me. I have never come across an event, I mean, a few exceptions aside, but never come across an event where there's an event organized for ACCA members. There is time for networking and registrations at the beginning. And when they walk in, they mingle up and they talk and they network with each other. What normally happens on the contrary is that you would see all of them sitting down in their chairs waiting for the event to start, just like this. Okay, so that is so antisocial. So if you've gathered in a place, you're all ACCA members. The one common thing within all the people present in a particular event is the profession that they are from. or maybe the topic that they're there to listen to, right? So it could at least be a conversation around it. Yeah. So, the biggest strength of ACCA members is people, this 219,000 members around the world. Right? And if you're not connected, if you're not linked up with each other, if you don't know what the successes are, if you don't know what good work other members are doing, right? And that can only happen through networking. You will probably the tail end yourself, right? So people, please develop this habit of networking, meeting, talking to people, sharing your business cards, sharing your business cards. I would, let me call it cynical. If you're at a professional engagement, if you're at a social networking event, you don't have your business cards to share with people, or you're not receiving business cards and keeping a contact with those people, or maybe looking for those people on LinkedIn or Facebook to connect with them, you're losing opportunities for having a big network. You're losing opportunities to build up your net worth, which is, the aim of one of the aims of this module as well. Unit number 7, data analytics. And I think when you say data analytics, common layman's example is, all right, the data is trying to tell you something. Do you know how to extract that information out of the data that you have? Right? So that happens in many ways. So there's heaps and heaps of data. Yeah. How to extract information out, what tools to use, what kind of information can you extract, right? And remember, data is like a gold mine. And if you're sitting on some very, very critical data, which usually finance and accounts people are, you can be so important to an organization when in the decision-making process. So that automatically leverages your position as an accounting and finance professional because of the kind of data that you have access to. Data visualization, and we've done sessions on data visualization, how to create interesting looking visuals using data, but that's what we're going to learn once again through this module. Robotics, machine learning, again, skepticism in data analytics, how to challenge yourself when you're doing data analysis, ethical considerations in data. And I think that's increasingly becoming a very, very important point on digital and ethics, and some very interesting conversation that we'll probably be doing when we run through this unit. And end of the unit assessment at this stage. Then Unit 8 is an integrated case study, and moving on, Unit 9 is strategic professional support. So, things like advanced taxation, things like strategic business leader, which are directly connected, strategic business reporting, directly connected with the exams that now the members are passing. You people, since you've passed these exams, when the curriculum change had not happened properly, this is your opportunity to learn about those important changes that we've made to the qualification, and therefore you're able to get advantage of the latest content in the curriculum that we are now delivering. So this was our ethics and professional skills module. I will now take you to the competency framework. Now, before we go on, we have about 7 minutes, and this presentation will take about 5 minutes. So any questions that you have? And if not, once again, I'm going to give you a chance to say something. So Hassan has raised a hand, and Muhammad Azim has raised a hand. Anybody else who would like to talk as well? I will unmute your mics one by one, and if you'd like to say something, please do that. If you'd like to comment about what I've discussed so far, please say that. So Hassan, you're going to go off mute. Here we are. Hello, Hassan. Hassan, can you hear us? Hassan, you are unmuted if you want to say something. Muhammad Azim, please be ready as well. Hassan, we are not able to hear you. Okay, let's go to Muhammad Azim first. Azim, are you there? Can you unmute yourself, your microphone? Okay, I guess both of them are unable to unmute. I'm going to lower the hands. So if you have something to say, please raise your hand once again so that we can go. In the meanwhile, let's see if there are any questions. Any questions from your side? Any comments? Let me know. Otherwise, we'll go on to the final part, which is the competency framework. So what are we talking about in the competency framework? Okay, no questions so far. Okay, the ACCA competency framework talks about those essential competencies that are built into the ACCA qualification. So thank you, Asamla. We've received your comment. Says appreciated. The content is well designed. Thank you very much. Now, the competency framework is there to show what a newly qualified member can do. Show where in the qualification these competencies are developed. So while you're passing exams, you're probably so focused on an individual exam that the competencies, how they're being developed, along the entire qualification through the journey. That is what we want to reiterate here. And then show the career opportunities that competencies enable. I mean, that is a key question. So, all right, I've done this, I passed this exam. What kind of job opportunities does this open up for me, right? And what kind of roles are ACCA members performing in this domain around the world? Imagine how interesting would that be, that you're able to, based on certain competencies, imagine the entire world, 219,000 members, and try to imagine what kind of roles are they in, on the basis of this particular competency alone. And last but not the least, be online and interactive. Okay, for employers, and of course, we're not looking at it from an employer's perspective, but just for the purpose of reading it, it can keep people updated on competencies needed by accountants. So, let's say if your organization knows that they need to inculcate these competencies within their accounting and finance team, that is what this module can deliver. Keep yourself up to date on the competencies delivered within the ACCA qualification, so they will know about the efficiency, the focus throughout the ACCA qualification. Self-evaluation, allow trainees and professional employees to reflect on their own level of competency. Support with recruitment of new staff and performance of existing staff, so this can be used as an assessment tool. Support training and guidance of what experience can support the attainment of practical experience requirement. We've talked a bit about it. And last but not least, support recruitment and promotion through demonstrating the range of opportunities available through a professional qualification. This was purely an employer's perspective, but let's look at the competencies now. So at the heart of these competencies is ethics and professionalism, which is what we've just talked about through the ethics and professional skills module will be developed, right? But if you look at the background, the clouds in the background, talking about intelligence, around you, creativity around you, emotional quotient around you, vision. Emotional quotient, of course, means how do you link up, socially connect with people. Vision, what is your vision like? How far can you see into the future? Technical and ethical skills, experience, and digital. But if you look more specifically about about this gear that Superman is wearing. It has audit assurance and advisory skills starting from 12 o'clock, strategy, technology, and innovation, leadership and management, stakeholder relationship management, and that's a very, very important one, governance, risk and control, corporate and business reporting, financial management, sustainable management accounting, and taxation advisory. We feel that this skill set collectively gives the member that advantage, the edge, using which they can lead others, or they can progress very well in their professional careers. Now, we once again feel that when ACCA members, the members who've passed out some years ago, qualified some years ago, these were certain skills that probably when they were doing their training, they were not so focused on them. Yeah. So, and as a result, they probably developed competencies in one particular area or two particular areas, but not all the areas that have been shown here. However, ACCA says that if all these skills exist in an individual, right, then that individual is future-proofed. Then that individual is on a very fast trajectory to growth in profession. But deficiency, and automatically you can sit back, talk to yourself in your heart only, and tell us which of these skills, what level have you achieved in all these skills. And I can guarantee that most of you will be able to pinpoint certain skills at which you are an expert, you are a pro, but certain other skills at which you are an amateur. So this is what we're going to sort of try to deliver through this program, 6 digits. And by the end of it, when you look at it again, you'll be able to see, all right, I think I've nailed all of these competencies, and therefore I now adequately am able to demonstrate to my employer that I have these skills readily available to be deployed at work. Okay. So the competency framework homepage, it shares with you, allows user to explore information through the competencies, information about the qualification, the different job roles that our members are in, and also allows user to explore how the quotients, the 7 skills that are developed, how do they work. And last but not the least, the 10 competencies that I've just shared with you allow people to explore each and every competency in more detail. And last of all, ethics and professionalism, as I've explained, it remains at the heart of the qualification. So that sort of touches upon that element as well. Sajid, if you would like to say hello to the members, they're asking about you, and I had sort of made a quick comment. Sajid is on his way to Karachi, so so just say hello, and any piece of advice for members.
And thank you very much for taking out time, and most importantly, committing to a program that we know will be tough for people to sustain. And that's how it's designed. And if you want to do something in 100 hours and you really want to create a difference, then it's required a different type of pledge. If me and Harun are willing to spend those 100 hours to make sure that things are going in the right direction, I hope you will be pledging the same. And let's try to create a value for everybody who is going through that program. So again, thank you very much, and would like to welcome you on 31st, if I'm not mistaken. Especially Sunday, so that's happening with the weekends. And that particularly from Harun's side, I definitely would like to add in. It's not very normal in our culture where people are working so late and extra hours on the weekend. But I think the true feeling and the way he cares about the members, that's what really demonstrates his commitment. I think it's important for everybody to understand these type of initiatives are fully backed by a member network panel, by Employability Society. They are the one who provide us some feedback, suggestions, and sometimes they are the one who initiate it. So these members, and it's important that again, as a community, we should appreciate and thank those members who have contributed in developing this program, developing this idea, and they will be a part at some point of time in delivering the same. So do await that opportunity to thank your member network panel and your Employability Society who have initiated this conversation and provided us with the right feedback. This is important that we should appreciate the level of effort which MFP and the Employability Society as a volunteers are willing to put in this one. They have already put a lot of time in creating this program. So, looking forward to welcome you on 31st of August. See you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sajid, and have a safe flight. I think we've more or less covered the content we had to cover. There are a few questions that I'll try to answer straight away. And Ehsanullah Babar is saying, I think one competency, the personal trait, is very vital for continued growth, and that is confidence. So automatically, I mean, all that we talked about will inculcate confidence, and that's very well pointed out also. So I think that's going to be a focus also alongside. Of course, there are going to be a lot of opportunities at time when you're going to stand in front of all these brilliant, intelligent minds of ACCA, and you're going to be leading the session. So that will automatically require confidence. About the schedule, I will share the complete schedule with you. Sajid and I are going to work on it further, and between now and 31st, that's the first session, I will be communicating to you through email. So please watch out for emails coming your way. I think that's all from my side. If you have any questions to ask or you want to contact me, I hope most of you know my cell number or you know my email address. I can type it on the screen and you can then be in contact with me. So I'll just type my phone number on the screen. All right, my cell number is 0300-8466-322, and my email address is arun.john@accaglobal.com. So you can note this down, and for any queries that you may have, please feel free to contact me. The session is going to be conducted here at the ACCA office. We have an activity center which is going to be actively used. So I'm looking forward to interacting with all of you, and I hope all of you will be looking forward as well. Take care of yourself and see you over the weekend. Thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz.